Hello and welcome to My Amazon Guy. Ask Me Anything every Friday at noon. My name is Stephen Pope and I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. You'll notice my voice sounds a little bit different. I am very much under the weather and I have no idea how much I have in the tank today. I'm going to do my best. First thing I want to do is give you guys an update on some of my sales. So this is my Seller Central account. And in here, this is my sales dashboard. These lines show month to date. This is just the last 5 days. And the orange line is last year. What do you guys see? What do you notice? My sales are significantly worse this year. We're talking 55% down. So I'm feeling the heat right now on my own account, which stinks because not only are my sales down, I actually invested probably 4 times as much this past year, including lots of different mom boxes, the Age of Sage smudge kits, soaps, and many, many other things from all the activities we're doing. We actually just launched this box, the Established in 2022. That just barely went live. About a week ago, we got the Not a Day Over Fabulous up, and this is the return from last year. All You Need Is Mom. This is the box that was my breadwinner, did $144,000 in 4 weeks, not replicating that success this year. Down 55%. So here's the graph. You can see this again. So you can see this month is the teal line and the orange line was sales last year. So it's following the same up and down mountain and peak, but substantially less. Just way, way less. So my best day, 500 units this year. Last year was 725. All right. So you guys know I'm feeling the heat. The economy is in the crapper. We've seen all kinds of government reports that are finally revealing the truth. Inflation rate is really 25%. They haven't revealed that yet. And production rates down 7.5% last quarter. And many, many other things. So if you guys are experiencing soft sales right now, or even just static when you're expecting growth, you're not alone. So I'm very biased to say it's never a better time to sell on Amazon, but the whole economy at large right now, not doing so hot. So yeah, John says, love that mega pint that you have out. Let me pull that one up on screen. That's a really fun one. I think that one might be like a week old at this point. And it's this one's a nice fresher breath air. I've sold like 200 of these units or something like that in about a week. And so that's cool. So I'm number one for Megapine on Amazon right now. We also launched a customizable Mama Bear large tumbler. And you could come in and put 1, 2, 3, or 4 bear cubs with their child names on it. First time I've done customization for my own products, literally ever. Super hard. We had to purchase a machine to make this work. Very, very difficult to do this, which is cool. So you can see some of the things we did with that. So we launched a ton of products. I'm super invested in trying to grow my own brands, even though I'm down 55%. All right, so we're going to start answering questions. I do prioritize member questions as well as those that add a donation to the channel. It's just a fair way of making this work. So we're going to go to Cool Peeps. Thank you for the sticker. And we'll start here, and then we'll go to the new member. Hi, Steven. Do you need to advertise on your virtual bundle listing? You actually can't even run sponsored products. You can run sponsored brand, but you cannot run sponsored products on a virtual listing. Also, how do I get my bundle to show A+ content? How to get brand registry for your bundles? That is a good question. I don't think I've even thought about this question. So now I'm like going to go check out some of my own bundles here and see if I can figure it out. I did some bundles with my shark glasses. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. So here's my Seller Central account. Here's a bundle. Let's see if I have A+ content on it. I haven't even looked at this. Oh, it's not even available. All right. Well, let's see if the A+ content's available. Probably should be, right? No, apparently not. So I don't know. Maybe you can't have A+ content on virtual bundles. I've never actually thought about it. you do see these bundle containments right here. My products got banned from advertising the shark products because they have the word drink on the glass. So I have not been paying attention to bundles for quite some time. One more, where do you see attribution from Facebook ads in Seller Central? So a couple things you can do. You can set up the attribution program inside of Seller Central, and there, if you Google My Amazon Guy Facebook attribution, you should be able to find an article with a walkthrough tutorial or video on that topic. You can also use a program like PixelMe, and we did become an affiliate of them. They have a really cool piece of tech. It's owned by Carbon 6, and I've seen some cool stuff coming from them. Oh, by the way, guys, we have a new website, and I would love feedback. Anybody want to check this out, go over to myamazonguy.com. You might find something that's broken because it's a brand new site. Sometimes when you port over, things happen. So check it out. You can see some of the things we've done. A lot of pastels, total rebrand, a lot of different things going on with this. We have a new flywheel, all kinds of stuff. Check out the services over there. Let me know what you guys think about the new website. All right, so let's go to the next question. John, you got us a queue here. Let's go ahead. I've heard about the new program where Amazon fulfills your UK FBA inventory to the rest of Europe. What do you think about the program? How's it going for your clients? I'd say I'm not aware of anybody using it. I would do it though, because basically it's just a pan-Euro way to get your FBA inventory to multiple places. Definitely the right move. I would definitely recommend it. Karen says, thank you. Congrats on 1,000 uploads, Stephen. Major milestone. Yes. So yesterday, Cinco de Mayo, I had a Mexican Coke and we uploaded our 1,000th video to YouTube. So that's a pretty cool accomplishment, a milestone. I've already made like 2 more and this live. So onward to the next 1,000, I guess. An ASIN that was out of stock and has been back in stock for 3 months now, but since going out of stock, it's a shell of its former self. Is there any truth to the notion that too much PPC can harm organic growth? Absolutely not. No. Low converting PPC traffic will not hurt organic. Any sales are good sales, especially if we're talking like a product between VSR rank 50,000 to 250,000. This is even more true, but even a top 50,000 product, I'll still defend it. I'm a traffic guy over conversion. I think conversion is important, but I think it's 3 times easier to double your traffic than it would be to double your conversion rate. Probably more like 10 times, actually. So traffic, way more important. Let's go to Josh after this one. John, an analogy that comes to mind is over-parenting a child will sometimes impede their natural development within society. Not sure if this is an accurate analogy. So an overbearing parent on Amazon. I would agree with that statement. So here is an example of just 3 children. Looks nice, right? One of the products I tend to make fun of for the past decade, in fact, is the jerky.com listings. And let's go to one of his high review ones. He's probably going to have a bunch of listings connected. Let's see how. Okay, so this one doesn't look too bad. But the problem with lots of parentage is like sometimes it's confusing. Like here's a 1 ounce, here's a 2, here's a 7 ounce. And then if you click on one, sometimes things are grayed out and you can't see them. Let me click on one more. Let's see if we can find one where it's actually like kind of shoddy. No, I think it might have been the same one. Let's go to the top here. They might have cleaned it up since I last looked at this. But sometimes when you have a parentage with too many children in it, some of them gray out and it's confusing. Great analogy, Karen. Pretty funny at the very least. Josh, thanks for becoming a member of our channel. If you want to become a member, just hit the join button on the YouTube channel. By the way, we also have the thank button now, so which I've never used before on YouTube. And apparently you can, when you're watching a regular video on the channel, hit the thank button and just do a donation there, which is, that's cool. Every little bit counts, helps me keep going. Hey, Steven, what should I do about listings I'm out of stock on? I don't want to sell at the moment, but may want to sell again in the future. Should I delete? Could I relist and use the barcode again? So 2 options here, in my opinion. One would be just close the listing and leave it alone. The reason why I like that option is because it retains the data control. And if some other hijacker tries to take over the listing, they won't as easily be able to do so. So you'll be able to maintain data control if it's still on your account. The other thing about whether to reuse the barcode is questionable. Sometimes this is okay. So if I was going to go from this is the way beer glass to this is the next Star Wars saying, might be okay. But if you were trying to go from a spoon to a knife or from one product to another, it's not really kosher to reuse the barcode. So the official policies is don't reuse. They're never going to enforce this. I've never seen any enforcement whatsoever, but they've been a lot more finicky about UPCs, brand name changes, parentages, and data control. So Amazon's becoming a little bit more controlling of that data. And that's because a lot of abuse has happened, knock on wood, Chinese sellers. And so that's kind of why the crackdown on that has happened. But I think you'd be okay to reuse it if you really wanted to, Josh. You probably wouldn't get in any trouble. So, but if I were you, I would just store it on the account because you may need it for something sometime. I would not delete a listing typically, unless it's a garbage listing you're never going to reuse. All right, let's go to the next one. Jeff, good to see you, brother. How do you create a discount for the first time subscribe and save customers? I want to give an incentive to sign up. So subscribe and save is automatic. It's automated. And if you want to use it, you have to have a high velocity. You have to have an in-stock rate, et cetera, et cetera. You can go in and add a discount from the seller. I do have a video on this. Just type in subscribe and save my Amazon guy into YouTube or onto Google. You'll find that video. And I walked through how to add the discount in there. I don't believe there's a way to do a first-time discount, though. That I'm not aware of. Maybe you could add a coupon. Maybe there's a setting for adding a coupon just for the first subscribe and save. I want to say there might be, but I'm not aware of how to trigger. I haven't done it myself before, but I'm now really curious. So I'm going to go over to my coupon section. Let's see what I can find in here. Create a coupon. I like doing things live and demoing it. All right, I got to grab an ASIN here. So let's just test this out. Grab the ASIN, select it, continue. We'll put in the sales coupon date. Let's say it's a money off $1. Budget $100. Coupon title, whatever. Go to the next. And then submit. So I didn't see anything in here that would allow a coupon specifically for subscribe and save. So probably a no-go on that. Good question, Jeff. Ophir, hey, thanks for the donation. Are you seeing any of your clients affected by China shutdowns? Have you seen any movement towards production in Mexico? So I would say that there's a lot of urgency to get production closer to the States, and that is going to crescendo this year. Many clients are affected by the client shutdown. I did a coaching call earlier today with a gentleman who's been watching his boat. He actually showed on screen the boat tracker. He's got a software to do that, and it was still in Shanghai. So I haven't been following the China news too closely this time around. But yeah, I would say container prices is a good indication of what's going on over there. Government shutdown, so this is self-inflicted problem. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I've seen a lot of movement going to Mexico as much as I would have expected or have predicted. And it could just be that it's just not that much cost savings between Mexico and the US. That could be why. I do have one $20 million client that just opened some Mexican plants up about a year ago. So I know it's happening, but I wouldn't say there's a lot of buzz there. I think it's inevitable. And I think that the geopolitics between China and the United States are not good, right? Like there's currency wars, there's supply chain, there's trade deficits, and then there's just the governments abusing each other, stuff like that. But not sure how quickly we're going to see Mexico pick up. Good question, Ophir. What the heck is going on with creating new listings lately? All my accounts are locked out. Customer says they know and they're working on it. I have not experienced this, Jeff. I did see one YouTube comment this morning. I was going through my YouTube comments this morning, and I did see one person talk about this. But to my knowledge, I have not experienced it. We've made a lot of new listings lately. Um, I wonder if maybe there's a specific way that's being affected. Like, are you being affected by this on non-brand registry products by chance, Jeff? Feel free to give us a little bit more intel on that. But I haven't seen anything myself. So Jeffrey says, two-part question. What triggers you to decide to use broad match modifier versus broad match? Ooh, that's a tough question. Let me think about how to answer this one. I would say if you don't know what you're doing, just stick to broad match. If you are certain that certain words perform better than others, but you still want to be generic on them, do broad match modifier. That answer is not going to translate to everybody. I apologize. But essentially, if broad match is up here for the most generic, broad match modifier is down here, phrase is down here, and exact match is at the bottom. Okay. So it's kind of like an in-between step between broad and phrase, where you're including portions of the terms inside of the broad match, and it narrows it down a little bit. So I think it's just clever, quite frankly. I think it's just a clever way to get some additional advertising going and make it happen. So I recommend it. Definitely check it out. Question 2 here. What percentage of the time do you tend to use broad match modifier versus broad match? 30-70. Probably more so today than I did a year ago. I might not have even had it a year ago, truth be told. I was aware of it back then, but I didn't really care about it. I've started using it more and more as we've seen some of the data come out. It's a good use. So I'd say about 30% of the time it would be worth using. It's probably better used on single keyword campaigns, like your 3 most important campaigns, broad match modifiers. So less campaigns, more depth on them, if that makes sense. Good question. Jason says, what does Amazon's choice mean for a keyword? Well, it's a made up thing that Amazon started doing a few years ago, and it's allowed them to basically make it feel like it's a more important keyword for shoppers, which has led to the increase of a conversion rate on Amazon. So let's go check out. I have a couple products we could check to see the keyword ranks on. So here's product number 1. This is the Mama Bear Cup, brand new product. It's only indexed for 42 keywords and nothing to write home about, right? Like I've got 5 sales on this unit. So I don't see any Amazon's choice yet. The Mega Pint, though, I bet is doing pretty good. Let's find out. I'm going to guess 900 keywords. Let's see what I get. Not even close, 96. But Johnny Depp Cup, I'm number 2 for, and that's where all my sales are coming from, probably. Mega Cup, Johnny Depp gifts, doing pretty good on some of these. Pint Cup. So pint glasses. I'm even getting pint glasses up there, which is kind of weird. So let's see about Amazon's choice. 102 recommended. So I do have some keywords that have Amazon recommended on, and this is one of them, the Johnny Depp Cup. So let's click on that. And those are all sponsored. And then there's the Patriots Cave one. There's mine. And it did say Amazon's choice on Helium 10's tool, but I don't see it here. So sometimes they come and go. This is one of my brand new products. So may or may not show all the time. But basically, Amazon's choice is just Amazon says your product converts better than somebody else's, so they put a badge on it so more people click on it. That's just bottom line. Can it help you? Absolutely. Can you control it? No, not really. For PPC bid optimization, can you comment on the proper time period to compare against? Week prior, month prior, lifetime? I guess the seasonality will matter. So I would say seasonality absolutely matters. You got to kind of rule out holidays sometimes, but 3 days is usually the minimum. 7 days is typically the target, And there's a different set of things you need to do on a different cadence level, right? So like every day, you might just go look at the numbers from a macro level. Every 3 days, you might make changes, and every 7 days, you do certain types of changes versus every 3 days, and then every month you do certain types of cleanup, right? For example, you wouldn't go in and negate keywords every single day. You wouldn't even do that every 3 days. You might not even do it every week, but you definitely need to negate keywords once every 2 to 4 weeks. The search term report in Amazon is one of the most under-tapped, underutilized places to manage ads. There are always keywords that should be negated on an account. And the best way to do that is to look at the search term report. So, but in terms of like, okay, so let's say I have a bid at 50 cents on a product in the home goods category. Should I increase that bid by 5 cents or by 10 cents at a time? And how quickly? That can be debated. But in general, the consensus in the PPC expert community right now is to do slower and more frequent amount of changes. So instead of going from 50 cents to $1, go from 50 cents to 55 cents. 3 days later, move it up to 60. 3 days later, move it up to 65, et cetera, et cetera. So it really depends on your goals, the scale of the account, the sophistication, how much segmentation you have in place to the frequency of your needs. But if you, let's say you only spend $4,000 a month on ads, you may not even check it more than 4 times a month, right? But if you're spending 50 grand a month, you might be checking it religiously because that's a huge undertaking, very, very important role in your company. The larger your account gets, the more likely you'll have a dedicated PPC resource to manage that. Good question. What is the best way in Seller Central to see my returns? When I go to orders, manage returns, I don't see any details. I can see returns under manage orders, but not one on one page. Not very often I look at the returns page. I may not be able to answer this very well on the fly, but let's go check it out together. So over orders drop down and manage returns, here you can see a bunch of stuff. So here's view all. And as you can see, I don't have any in the last 30 days. So let's go 365 days. So I got one. Return reason, didn't approve purchase. Right. Because everybody shares their Amazon account. So you then you give them a date, you give them a label to return it with, and boom, you're off to the races. So if you don't have any merchant fulfilled returns, that's why you're not seeing anything here. But that's essentially what you're going to do there. For FBA returns or processing, you might want to check out some of the reports that are available. And there's fulfillment reports in here galore. So if you look on the left-hand side, you can see all kinds of different reports. Check them out. FBA customer returns, this might be what you want to check. And in here, if we just look at it yesterday, I had 7 returns in FBA. Amazon has a heavy amount of returns, right? Everybody hates it, but that's the truth. So here's one, customer damaged it. Unit returned to inventory. Nice. Disposition damaged, but went back to inventory. Thank you, Amazon. I'm so thankful for you to damage my item and put it back into inventory. So the next guy gets a damaged item. Pretty amazing. I appreciate that, Amazon. A lot of people disable that. So got returns on a few different things. When I sip, you sip. Unit back returned to inventory. Wow. Some guy returned 5 of those, apparently. So customer damaged. Nice. Product performance quality is not up to my expectations. Right. I'm sure that's the case, Mr. Customer. I'm sure. So check out that FBA report. Hopefully that's helpful, Jay Sant. Let me know. Karen, thank you for the $3 super sticker. Very appreciated. If all factors of a listing and top competitors and the market is to remain the same, then what are some of the reasons that the same listing can have month-to-month very different conversion rates? Well, seasonality for sure. There's a couple of things here. So for one, your conversion rate might be the same as your competitors, right? So like, let's say you're all maintaining the same BSR 3 months in a row. Well, if your conversion rate went down, but your BSR stayed the same, what does that tell you? That tells you that everybody's experiencing the same thing, right? Amazon reported a loss in Q1 for the first time in a decade. That's going to happen at least 8 more times, in my opinion. Sales are down. There's no doubt about it. Still a great time to sell on the platform. You can navigate the waters. It's just harder, right? And if you don't sell on Amazon, it's not like there's a better alternative right now. But it's possible for conversion rates to go up and down. Commodity items, gift items, 55% down year over year. I'm living it myself. And that's because people at the end of the day, when there's hyperinflation, and there is, they spend their money on milk, staples, rent, all of those kinds of things. Buying that $15 beer glass on Amazon right now, not that important. All right, let's go to the next one. A Chinese IP lawyer recommended getting a trademark in China. Trademark in China is prior application instead prior use. Apparently, orders can get stuck in customs if a Chinese company holds your trademark. Have you heard of this? Is it a concern? Personally, I've never dealt with this at all. I'm also not the Chinese expert or the logistics expert. There's probably some better sources to check with to answer this question. And if you happen to be a logistics expert and know the answer to this question, please add your answer on the comment section of the video, even if you're watching this months from now. I would say I do not know a single brand that has a trademark in China. I personally do not know a single one. So it's probably pretty rare. I've never heard of anybody getting stuck ever. I'm sure it's possible, but I just do not know anything about trademark situations in China. I do know a lot about trademarks in the US. That I can speak about. We filed almost 1,000 trademarks now at my Amazon guy. And if you guys are going to launch a second brand, I hope you use us when you go and do that. Let's see if I can find it on my flywheel here. Everything got moved around. Where are the trademarks? There they are. US trademarks right there. We technically do file trademarks internationally. Madrid system. But yeah, you can get your trademark in under a day from us, brand registered under 7. Check us out. We've got lots and lots of content around trademarks, FAQs, and a bunch of information. So have at it, myamazonguy.com. Let's go to the next one. Is there a data lag on attribution? Yes, there is. It's at least 48 hours. Sometimes it can go longer. I see clicks on Google Ads, but no record on attribution yet. Also, the attribution system in Amazon sucks to begin with. Not a very good program, and it's gotten better, but still sucks. It went from like an F to a C, in my opinion. It's C's get degrees right now. It does the job. It's just not sexy at all in any shape or form. But yeah, clicks often do not get attributed. Sometimes you set up the link wrong as well, and then they don't ever tell you. Yeah, that happens too. Might want to check out Pixel Me. They kind of simplify this down a little bit. Let's go to the next. When optimizing bids, do you adjust the bid only, or are there times when you adjust the bid according to CPC, down only bid strategy? Yeah, it really, this is a super variable question. The worse the situation is, the more aggressive actions to take. Super bad keyword might negate it. ACOS spike might go down only. Bid adjustment, all of the above. All of these things happen. It's really hard to answer this question in depth, unfortunately. Every situation is a little bit unique on this one. Are MCE campaigns sent to customers who have previously purchased your product, or do they go out to customers who have searched for your product or category? I'm trying to remember what MCE means. We just made this new fact sheet. I'll pull it over here. So let's see. This is my actual Slack at my company. So this is the graphic that we just made this morning for all of the acronyms. Is MCE on the list? It's not. All right, we're going to have to add MCE, Jeff. I don't know what it is. We just posted this on the blog. You guys want to get a copy of that? Maybe, John, you could add a comment on the video to link them over to the blog post if you wouldn't mind. Yeah, I don't know what MCE means. Can it help me out, guys? What does MCE mean? Multi-channel? No. Enrollment? Manage customer engagement. I still don't even know what that means. What does that mean? What does manage customer engagement? I know you can't post links in our channel because sometimes we get spam botted a little bit, so we ban the links. But I would be curious to learn more about that, Jeff. Jeff, I think you got my email. Send me an email at podcast@myamazonguy. Send me a link over that. I'll check that out later. House and Hughes. The going theory is that one PPC cell leads to 3 organic. Yes, I'm the guy that said that. Where does this come from? It comes from me making it up. That is literally true. Years ago, I made that statement, and it's taken hold. Where does this come from? This dependent on PPC performance. I'm experiencing lower ACOS yet higher TACOS. So your organic is slipping is the issue here, House and Hughes. And so if you have a lower ACOS, you're doing a good job with your PPC, but your organic is slipping, which is why the TACOS is going up. And so you're going to want to do a refresh on your SEO keywords at least every 90 days, as much as you can. It's very easy to do a bulk SEO keyword research on the search terms, but your top products, check out SEO phase 4, go run the make a new MKL, master keyword list. Let's see if we have that one on the, we do have that one on the acronym list. We got MKL. All right. I would say the reason one PPC sale leads to 3 organic over time is because you need sales to get sales on the platform. And if you generate a PPC sale, it increases your organic keyword ranks, which then leads to at least 3 sales over 6 months. That is my math based on what I've seen. I don't have a way to mathematically prove that. Quite frankly, it might even be an underestimate. You might get even more value from it. But we do know with certainty that PPC sales leads to organic. We know that for 100% fact. The question is how much. I think at least a 1-to-3 ratio over 6 months. Got a new member coming in from Kim Knox. Welcome to the channel, Kim. Thanks for the support. We'll go to your question next if we can find it. Mike says, do you do Facebook ads and Amazon PPC for the same monthly price or additional fee to add Facebook ads? So we do charge for Facebook ads as a separate add-on service. We just launched this, and we haven't really told a lot of people about it because we were trying to take it slow because we wanted to make sure we had the service offering as high as possible. But if you go to myamazonguy.com/Facebook, you can check out a bunch of information on it. And we just launched a new video. And here's so we don't have public pricing on Amazon management. Every account's a little bit different. So we do custom that. You got to talk to our sales team. But on Facebook, we were able to create like a bronze, silver, gold, and platinum package. You can see the pricing right there. And you can check us out. So we have 10 Facebook clients right now. Very small fraction of the business. Most of the things we do is Amazon focused. John, take an action item to swap out this video to the new one that Scott made this past week. We need to swap that out. Kim says, FBA, thinking of selling in multiples in FBM. Do I create an FBA listing as a multiple and offer FBM at a better price so FBM gets selected? Can I create quantity discounts like in B2B somehow? Okay, so this one is easy to parse, but hard to understand. If that's kind of a weird statement. But essentially, let's go to my Sage kits. I think this is a good one to explain it with. So if we look at the smudge kit listing and you look at the quantity pack size. Now, I personally am doing all 4 of these with FBA. However, if I wanted to, I could have my 100 pack be FBM or fulfilled by merchant. And if I were to do that, I could have the parentage still be intact, just have an FBM variation with 100 pack. And then you could adjust the pricing to whatever you want to do. So in essence, Kim, this is exactly what you're looking for. Yes, you can create multiple SKUs with higher quantities, offer a discount, but not ship them into FBA. This is a great practice because it allows you to get a higher average order value with minimal effort. You can cross-apply all the content. You just need a unique UPC, add it to the parentage, and boom, now you got extra stuff. I do highly recommend you keep branding in main images whenever possible, packaging. We've had more hijackers on our smudge kits than any other listing I've ever created. And once we started adding the Age of Sage box brand to the main image, though, that problem died down quite a bit. Still happens, but not as much. So highly recommend that. You think shipping prices will move down to 3 to 5K container soon? No, I do not. Last I heard 2 weeks ago, they were dipping under 9K. I think once the China shutdown ends, we'll see prices go back up. And I don't think we'll ever again come back under $5,000. I do not believe that is even possible. A lot of reasons for that: shipping containers, a lot of government issues, a lot of politics, a lot of logistic hurdles. The fact of the matter is the governments are trying to destroy the economy. That is the truth of the situation. They are trying to take power and destroy the economy, and they're trying to disrupt the supply chain. So that is why I believe it's happening. So no, I do not believe, unless we get the most capitalistic, free control supply chain, we'll never see prices go under 5K again, ever, for a 40-foot container. Jahil says, when looking to negate keywords in the customer search term report, what is your threshold of spend sales you have before negating that keyword? For example, if I had to spend $10, but only 0 to 1 sales in the last 65 days. That does not meet the threshold. So what I would do, I've talked about this several times in the last few months. I believe it's in my master class video as well. So if you go to the PPC masterclass, just type PPC masterclass into the YouTube channel. I believe I spend about 8 minutes on this in this video off my top of my memory, where I talk about how in the search term report, you can draw conclusions by typing in a word that has dozens of iterations of that word. For example, if I type in plastic into a keyword campaign for a glass product into the search term report, I may not have $20 in spend on one keyword, but I might have $20 in spend on 17 keywords. And then if I type in the word plastic to the search term report and filter for that, I would then see that there's enough data and conclusion to know I'm never going to sell a plastic wine glass when I'm selling glass. It's just common sense, right? Negate that sort of stuff. But when in doubt, don't negate. Never negate a good keyword as well, right? That's something I've been talking about on LinkedIn lately. If you haven't followed me on LinkedIn, check me out. Add me as a connection. Get some extra content over there that we don't do on the videos. Matto says, can you switch a generic listing to a brand registered after completing the registry process? Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Yes. I've transferred the listings over to my brand before, but never created under generic. So yes, 100%. However, here's the bad news, Matto. It is quite difficult. We charge $1,000 to change brand names. It's that difficult. So you're on for a journey of template file uploads, brand registry tickets, and seller support phone calls. It's a lot of work. Even though we're experts and pros at it, it's still really difficult. They keep changing the policy too. So good luck with that. But yes, 100% possible, 100% success rate, I might also add. We've never not been able to change a brand name, but dang difficult. So you've mentioned you've never negated a good keyword in an auto campaign. Do you negate them in phrase and broad if they're already in an exact campaign? No, never negate a good keyword ever under any condition. 100% don't do it. Good keywords have history. History leads to lower ACOS. So you would essentially punch yourself in the face to negate a good keyword. Just don't do it. Now, what I would do is change the bids. I would put a different bid based on the targeting. If you can get a better ACOS by having a lower bid on a certain keyword targeting, that may be a good thing. Maybe you don't care about the ACOS saving 1-2%, and you'd rather have the sales and go for top line and impression share. So you got to make a decision on your own, but never, ever, ever, Steve Carell, ever negate a good keyword. Don't do it. Hey, Steven, how are you doing? Does changing SKU affect sales or sales rank? No. All of those things are stored at the ASIN level. I've never been asked this question, by the way. Congratulations on asking that question. First time I've ever been asked that. And a unique and great question, I might add. Great question. Does not affect ASIN level. How to avoid decreasing bids on keywords with poor ACOS, but good organic keyword ranking? Well, you would have to have campaign level rule sets with a sophisticated account to not lower the bids. Basically, call them SEO campaigns. So probably what I would do, knowing the sophistication of your account, I would add the 3-letter letters SEO to a campaign that you're doing for organic purposes, and then negate those campaigns from your standard negation rules and your standard bid methodologies, and create a second sort of rule set for those individuals. Great question. Justin says, Steve, I'm trying to relaunch some products using the fixed bid strategy. Do I need to also use the adjust bids by placement feature for top of search TOS or product placements, or do I leave them at 0% multiplier? There is no wrong answer to this question. I would say, when in doubt, don't use the bid modifier. It used to be fantastic. It's over inundated today. If you want to play with it, use a top of modifier bid adjustment between 20 and 30%. Anything larger than that, and I don't believe you're going to have a good day. Test it out. No wrong answer, though. Madeline says, if I have a parent listing with 2 color variations, how do I add a style variation? Do I need to create another parent listing? So you're going to delete your current parents, and you're going to change the parentage theme. So on my parentage page where we outline this, and the flywheel needs a little adjusting there. All right, so where is parentage? Right here. And when you scroll down, so right now you have a color variation, looks like this, and you're going to switch it to a color and style variation, or a color and size. Both look the same, and it's going to look like this. So you're going to go from a single parentage variation theme to a dual variation theme parentage. Okay. And so that's how you're going to change that. So feel free to check that out. Template upload is in your future, by the way. Sean says, in a PPC campaign, is there a benefit of traffic impressions? If not, converted sales orders? In PPC campaigns, is there a benefit of traffic impressions if not converted to sales and orders? I would say yes for a new product in the first 14 days. Otherwise, no benefit. You need sales. But if you're not getting conversions, it ain't going to help you. It helps with a product launch. Highly recommend doing it for product launch. I would say 6 out of 10 times I launch a product, it's very soft when it starts out. So it's very common for me to overspend, get super high ACOS when I first launch the product. Changes over time. Junaid says, what should be best strategies for the keyword initially when we get from manual broad and they're not performing well in any other campaign? Never negate a good keyword. Keep it in the broad match. Leave it alone. If it's not performing in other campaigns, it may never. Kelly says, how do I create a second SKU on a listing to offer a different size packaging option? So same answer I gave earlier on the smudge sticks. You are going to add a new UPC, a new child variation, and just give a different size on the package. That's it. Parent them together, give the consumer those options, charge accordingly. We don't use SD campaigns. What are your thoughts on sponsored display? I would say it's high in the funnel. Knowing what I know about your methodologies, I think you should be doing it sparingly, probably 3% of your budget at a larger scale size. You are on the cusp of probably needing DSP. Anytime you're spending $50,000 in ads, DSP is something you should look at. I would first, before doing DSP though, test display, sponsored display that is, inside of Seller Central. By the way, somebody else says, waiting for your detailed DSP course online. So topical in relation to that question. We do not do a lot of DSP at My Amazon Guy. We just think it's cost prohibitive. You have to be a really large company to make it make sense. With that said, retargeting, House and Hughes, retargeting, number one display type you need to be running today. Retargeting past purchasers, past viewers. You need to jump all over that right now. That is a no-brainer. Also, I would run a test campaign for House and Hughes. I would run a test campaign for new home buyers. Test and target those, see how it does. Put a low bid, try it out. 30 cents a bid. You never know. Might work. What do you suggest for suggested bids for newly launched products? Suggested bid, multiple on suggested bid. Usually 10% higher than the middle of the road is what I recommend for new products. And then adjust it upward and become more aggressive if impressions don't come in. Pretty standard on this. And then from there, just run your typical formulas. ACOS impression, not enough impressions, raise bid. Too many impressions, high ACOS, lower bid accordingly. And then maybe negate potentially. My U.S. listing title is a conflict with ES title for the same ASIN. For the ASIN since I started EU expansion. Okay, I understand what you're saying there. As a result, I'm unable to edit my U.S. listing. Seller support recommends to delete and relist via flat file. Scary thing to do, right? I hate deleting my products. Never enjoyable. I hate when seller support tells me to do it, and I think their system sucks. Why you make me delete my products from here? Let me just hurt my listing and delete my sales for 24 hours. Yeah, sign me up, right? No, that's like chasing my tail. Forget it. But in the case of the UK-US conflict, it's not a bad idea. Do a template file upload with full updates and brand registry tickets. That should also help you. You're using the same UPC code, which allows the reviews to share, which is part of the problem, but it's also worth the problem. So it's okay. But yes, you need to get that rectified. Brand registry tickets, template upload, and a potential delete and relist would help. I agree. Maria, how and where to get Amazon clients if we're Pakistani VAs? Since I'm not a Pakistani VA, I don't have any experience with what you do. I do know that the Pakistanis are one of the most enterprising, entrepreneurial country in the community. We hire more people in the Philippines than we do in Pakistan, but we do have a great Pakistani division, especially as it relates to PPC. There seems to be a very good PPC culture in Pakistan. I don't know why. I haven't figured that out yet, but that's the case. So if you're trying to get Amazon clients, regardless of where you are in the world, Pakistan, Philippines, or otherwise, I would recommend that you pick one thing that you are best in class at, because you are competing against everybody else in the world. Now, I like to talk about how it's all of us against Amazon, but in reality, when you are a single VA trying to get business, you are competing against the whole world. That is relatively true. So what you should do is get on Upwork, get on all of those other competing platforms, FreeUp and onlinejobs.ph and all kinds of other platforms, depending on where you are in the world, and post something that you are best in the world at. If you're not best in the world at, then just charge less than the next guy. but become best in the world at something that you enjoy, and repeat and do more and more of it. That's my best advice to you. I would not say that there is a perfect place to always go get clients. However, make content, not a bad thing. All right, we got 3 last questions today. It's been a great program. Appreciate everybody's support today. Karen says, the recession is very much here. What are some adjustments as we Amazon sellers should be making? Reduce PPC, order less inventory, etc., etc. Honestly, my answer will surprise you. I think you should buy more inventory. Why? Because I think there's a 25% inflation rate. So any money you sit in cash right now is literally diminishing. So it behooves you to overinvest in inventory. Now, it's not fun to overinvest in inventory. I never said this would be a fun or great exercise, but that's what I would do if I were you. I think it's very difficult times ahead of us. And making smart decisions is the way to go. Here's what I would do to reduce costs. I would not do as many variations of a product. Don't sell 16 colors. Pick 3. Simplify the business, but don't necessarily reduce PPC or order less inventory. I think that causes a death spiral. Death spirals are not a good thing. There's ways to be smart to buoy up the listings, right? Your margin will shrink. You also will have to raise your prices. That is inevitable. The question is when. And I believe many sellers have already started to raise prices, but many are afraid to. And so they're taking a margin hit. Take a margin hit for too long, though, and then you're going to have to make more cuts somewhere else. That's the problem. All right, second to last question. Should we really stick to a maximum of 5 keywords per campaign? Does this basically just mean no more ad groups? There's a lot of debate about this. I would say max it at 20, no more. But if you do 20 keywords, 15 of those keywords are not going to get impressions, which is why they recommend tapping it at 5. If you have multiple ad groups in a campaign, what that does is it causes not every ad group to get the same impressions. If Amazon can get a 1% improvement between one keyword or one ad group over another, what do? Amazon wants to make money. They're in the business of making money. They will put a higher proportion of business towards the product keyword or the ASIN ad group that has a 1% improvement. You may not care about a 1% ACOS difference. So if you don't care about that, then separate them out and then spend equally on both, right? But if you put them all together, it'll be 30-70 at best. And they're going to go 70% on the one that does 1% better. So that's the problem. All right. Ebed. Hi, my Amazon BSR was very good in Q4. I'm selling in the UK market now. My BSR is going high, but one of my competitors is selling in Europe and his sales rank is low. All of my competitors' sales ranks are down except my product. What should I do and how to get my sales back? So it would be helpful to see your ASIN and do a little bit of an ASIN review. Flip back, John, for me here. Let me reread part 1. So what I'm hearing from you is that you're losing ground against your competitors. And so what I would do, Ebad, is I would do a keyword gap analysis, throw all of the ASINs, including yours, into a keyword tool such as Helium 10 and run a report to see what keywords they are indexing on and which ones you are not, and then redo the listing so that you can see the difference. By the way, if you guys want to get 50% off Helium 10, check the link out in the chats. I do get a kickback on that, so appreciate that in advance. That is the My Amazon Guy show today. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy, and it's my pleasure to answer questions for you guys every Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Please check us out over at My Amazon Guy. Would love to hear your feedback about the website. If you want to help rank my video on YouTube, leave a keyword from something you learned today in the comments, whether you're watching this in the replay or even right now live. Type things like Amazon PPC, Amazon SEO, Amazon brand registry, and hundreds of other keywords. Helps me out. Appreciate you guys a lot. We'll see you next week.